There is always movement when manifesting your specific person, whether you realize or not, whether you know it or not, whether you see it or not. And in this video, I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to explain how that is. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and stick around. Also, if you need help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. I also have some self-study courses about manifesting your specific person. And I do have a members-only challenge with a lot of perks for members, including weekly live workshops with a different manifesting topic each week, weekly live group coaching, a lot of exclusive content, monthly challenges for a chance to win a free one-on-one coaching session with me, and a lot more. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website or to the membership channel. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. So I know this might sound hard to believe, especially if you have been manifesting your SP, your specific person, for some while, and you're not seeing much change in the 3D, you're not seeing much movement, perhaps you're not seeing any movement. And so, of course, very naturally, you're wondering whether your manifestation is working or not. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is always movement when manifesting your SP. There are always things going on behind the scenes, and I wanted to use this video today to explain to you why I'm saying that, why that is, and how that is. So the first thing that you guys need to keep in mind, this is also a big trap that most manifestors fall into, especially when they're first starting out, is that they think that they're going to spend a few hours or a few days doing a few techniques, and then immediately their manifestation is going to appear in the 3D. This is not to say that this is impossible. This is not to say that this cannot happen. It absolutely can happen. It absolutely does happen. However, it doesn't happen in each and every case, and that is absolutely fine. Some manifestations, for a number of reasons, can take a bit longer. Some manifestations, for a number of reasons, might need certain bridges to form in the 3D before they can come and manifest before your eyes. So the thing I want you most to remember is that the 3D, the world of your senses, in other words, is the absolute last thing that changes when a manifestation comes in. Today, in this video, we're talking more specifically about SP, specific person, but this, by the way, applies to any and all manifestations. So as you can see then, the problem with looking at the 3D to assess whether you're having movement or not is that you are trying to look at the last thing that ever changes when you're working on manifesting your SP, and you're getting discouraged when you're not seeing any movement or you're not seeing any change. And I'm going to give a quick overview of how things change in the order in which they change when you start manifesting your specific person. So let's say that you have decided to manifest your specific person, whether that is your ex and you're manifesting them back in your life, or whether that is a friend of yours who you want to have a romantic relationship with, or someone you're dating, perhaps you want something more exclusive, more serious, and so on. So you have decided to manifest your SP, and now you are starting with whatever techniques that you have chosen or whatever mental diet that you need to do. Or if you're more advanced, perhaps you're just stepping into your I am and deciding that this is who they are from now on, this is who I am from now on, and you live in that consciousness. Whatever you're doing, the very first movement that you are going to observe and notice and see and feel is within yourself. You are going to start feeling better about the situation. You are going to start feeling more confident about the situation. You're going to start feeling less triggered. You are going to start feeling more anticipation towards having your desire. Your desire starts feeling more plausible, more possible, more probable, more likely. You start feeling more relaxed. You start feeling calmer. In many ways, you start feeling more detached. You have lost the obsession and the desperation towards your desire. You start enjoying yourself and your life more. So all these changes, you guys, are essentially changes in your inner state and your inner energy. And this is the very first step, the very first and most essential step for anything outside of you to change. Because if that inner shift doesn't happen first, then unfortunately, whether we like it or not, nothing tends to happen on the outside. So the first essential step has been taken. Your shift is now happening within yourself. You're noticing it, you're feeling it, you're observing it, you're living it. This, you guys, believe it or not, is your most tangible proof that things are going to change in the 3D before too long. How you feel within determines what reflection you can expect to get from the outer world. And of course, that includes your SP. Once that inner shift has started, and once it starts becoming more and more dominant within you, it starts to get pushed out into the outer world. Your thoughts start getting transmitted to your SP. Not that they weren't being transmitted before, but now they're getting transmitted in the direction that you actually want. Not in the direction of rejection, the direction of I'm being ignored, I'm not being taken seriously, I'm not being committed to, but actually to the opposite direction that matches and aligns with your manifestation. So once these thoughts, once this energy, once these inner states, once these feelings start getting pushed out, your SP instantly on the subconscious level receives them. If these thoughts, this energy, these states are the most consistent and the most dominant thing that they receive from you, at some point, sooner or later, they are going to become conscious within them. What do I mean by that? Some people, especially those who are more tuned in, might be much quicker, much faster in feeling that change in energy on the conscious level, not just the subconscious level. This could mean that your SP very, very fast, very, very quickly starts becoming conscious of a change in energy. What they are now receiving from you might no longer be, let's say, resentful energy or jealous energy or insecure energy. What they're receiving from you now is loving energy, confident energy, calm energy, poised energy, and so on. They may not be able to put their finger on it, but they will definitely feel the shift in the energy and they will mirror it back to you accordingly. Now, for some other people, I dare say probably for most people, the process between subconsciously receiving your shifted energy and consciously realizing that might take a little while. And of course, depending on the person, depending on the situation, it can take different forms. For example, your SP might dream of you one day, and that dream may make them realize that they truly do miss you a lot, or they truly want something more serious with you than they thought. Maybe a mutual friend happens to mention you to them, and that is the prompt that makes them start to reconsider the situation. Maybe you randomly bump into each other somewhere. Or maybe they just wake up one morning and they find themselves unable to stop thinking about you. Or it can manifest in so many other ways. It doesn't really matter. The point is that at some point, this subconscious shift in energy, as long as it remains dominant and consistent, does manifest in them on the conscious level as well. And what happens after that is the most beautiful part, and it's the part that we're all waiting for when we're manifesting whatever it is that we want. The 3D actually starts showing some changes. Maybe they start watching your stories more. Maybe they start reacting to your stories more. Maybe they start texting you. Maybe they start calling you. Maybe they start asking mutual friends about you. Maybe you were blocked and then you find that they unblock you. Maybe they start asking you out on dates. Maybe they start bringing up being more serious. Depending on each person's situation, it's going to manifest in relevant and appropriate ways. As you can tell, though, from the timeline that I just gave, the 3D, as I said before, is the very last thing to change. There are a bunch of other things that need to change first, that absolutely are essential to change first, before you can even start having movement and seeing movement and experiencing movement in your 3D. So I wanted to make this video to explain a little bit better and a little more in depth how things work when you're manifesting your SP, because I understand the frustration and the discouragement if you're not seeing movement. However, I want you to understand and put it very, very well in your head that there is always movement. And the reason why in the manifesting community we say that a lot, there is always movement, is because there is always movement. And hopefully this video clarifies why, explains why. Hopefully you now understand what we mean when we say there is always movement, because there is. And hopefully that inspires you and motivates you to be a little more patient, perhaps, a little more optimistic, a little less jumpy when you don't immediately see movement in the 3D. And hopefully that also keeps you going, because it's the consistency and the dominance of the new energy that manifests anything and everything you want with your SP, you guys. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.